Hi, everyone. Welcome to our December 2022 final global leadership meeting of the year. We made it. It's been a crazy year, and I'm super excited for what 2023 is going to hold. I've got some great updates to share with you, and excited to hear what you have to share as well. Let's jump right in. I'll start first with the chapter update. Not much has changed since our last meeting. We still have Nashville and Miami working on a launch for early 2023, and so that will still be our number 8 and number 9 chapters launching definitely in Q1 of 2023. I did meet with a couple of hotels from Nashville at the Signature Conference and someone from Miami that they're all interested in hosting events. Everywhere I go, hotels are asking me about hosting our chapter events, which is a really good sign. I'm happy to see kind of that desire come back from hotel partners. So I'm confident those will definitely launch in early 2023. I'm also currently in Houston right now and had a meeting with someone today, and I have a call with someone next week about spearheading the leadership team for Houston. So that one's pretty much already in the works as well. I'm just going to focus on those 3 for right now. We've got to rebuild a couple teams just due to some, expected transitions that people are making. So I want to keep our 7 chapters really strong and focus on just those 3 cities, and then we can revisit and talk about what's next. I know there's interest for DC, for Boston, for San Francisco, among other places. I would say the one thing that I would ask everyone to do is, if you're having any conversations with people in cities and they're interested in a chapter, make sure they fill out the sign-up form on our website, because that's how we gauge where we have the most demand. Anyone have questions? Josh, do you have anything you want to add about chapters? Sorry.
No, I mean, I think we want to make sure that the right leadership is in place in order to, deliver. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And I think we've got really strong leaders right now. The people that have stepped down recently are doing so just because of transition. So Chicago, for example, they all have like some major life changes. Basically, Allison is moving to Phoenix, and she's going to be an active member of the Phoenix chapter. Abby is having a family, and she's just starting her family, and she's overwhelmed with work and personal right now, so has to step back, but will still be a member. Rohit is moving to New York, so he's going to get actively involved in the New York chapter. So it's not, that we're necessarily losing people. They're just transitioning, and I'm hopeful Carson will kind of take the lead in Chicago, which will be great. And I already have 2 other people, very, people that are like committed and love MIT and have been on our FAMs in Chicago that are going to take their spots. So I think there's just sometimes this natural like turnover, which is totally fine. And we've never expected that chapter officers would stay in their roles forever. It's like a leadership opportunity, and then sometimes it's time to pass the reins on to someone else.
I'm wondering if it would make sense for us to implement some type of like direct handover to not necessarily pull you out of the equation, but as to where there's like, I don't know, a half an hour meeting between like somebody's leaving and somebody's coming on.
We are doing that, and everyone in Chicago has agreed to stay on even through March, just to make sure that it's like a seamless handover. So
yeah, I mean, there's a difference between staying on of like my name's on the website and then like actively like doing things.
No, they have.
They have
an event planned for February that they're all like involved in, and I have a meeting with them next week to like hear more. And then they've all said that they want to like, basically stay through that next event that they have planned, and then like officially pass the reins at that event.
And like to make sure that we have the event after that already planned.
Yeah.
Like that kind of thing.
Yeah. Chicago's working on that. We still need a couple people to join the Miami team, and we've had another big kind of disruption with the San Diego team. So Miami, San Diego are kind of where we need the most focus right now in terms of leaders for those chapters. And then from the manager standpoint, we still have the technology and the events position open. And I think I have someone for digital content. And actually, I met somebody at a conference last week that she's based in LA and she wants to get involved in some capacity. So I'll find out, if she might be better suited for maybe a technology or an events role when I speak with her in the next couple of weeks.
Okay. I think technology is going to be less of an importance.
Yeah, I know. We need someone for events, like, urgently. Because it was a missed opportunity to not be able to have an event at USTOA. But on that note, I'll go into the recent event recap bullet point.
Well, actually, before we move on, we in 2023 we're going to be bringing somebody on part-time to help with administrative things,
and they can handle technology stuff.
Yeah, so that's someone who is currently working for me in South Africa at a very, very low cost US dollar wise, but a very incentivizing financial hourly rate in South Africa. So he's been working with me for about 4 months. So he will be working probably about 15 hours a week on millennials and travel stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm not super concerned about technology stuff, or the admin aspect kind of stuff. I mean, content's not really, just because of, not that there's a language barrier. I mean, he speaks English, but still it's like Zimbabwean English or South African English. So.
Yeah, but I think I have a good person for that actually. So it's actually, Natalie can probably comment. It's Kelly Benz, who's in Nashville. She is really interested and wants to do more writing for that. So
yeah,
Natalie,
she's incredible. She recently stepped down from the agency that we were working at together, and she's full-time freelancer writing in some awesome publications. So yeah, she's great to tap into.
Perfect. Okay. Anything else about leadership? I'm feeling, like I said, I'm feeling confident and good, about the team that we have now. Everybody has been an amazing part of the team. And I think, we'll just have these roles to fill and it's going to go well. But at the same time, we might reevaluate and decide, do we really need, somebody for one role or another? But Josh, you and I can.
Also, even taking our database and his name is Nazan. Maybe Nazan can go into the database and it can say, okay, so these are all of the people that are in our database that work for a hotel in New York City. Let's create that list. What are their respective roles? Are there any roles that we feel are important based off of their titles or anything like that? And maybe that'll help the chapters, because events, is what drives our organization more so than the career development at this point. So I think we need to think outside the box on how to be more strategic on a proactive level in acquiring these events earlier on.
Totally. Absolutely. I had a conversation with New York about that last week. They have an event for January and they actually have 4 events already in the works for next year. They've been able to be really proactive with the recent leadership change and I'm kind of conditioned all the chapters to do the same, to slate and schedule and plan, those 4 quarterly events and just kind of have those tentatively locked in and to give me a save the date basically before the end of this year so that we have a tentative idea of what those 4 professional networking events will be in each chapter city before we even start the new year. And then from there, they can fill in, any additional gaps or opportunities that come up. We're also starting to get approached a lot more for sponsorship opportunities. Like Tourism Australia is sponsoring, I think 3 or 4 chapter events next year, which are going to be an hour of product and just networking with advisors, and then an hour open to anyone. So it's still works well for the organization, and it's a win-win for Tourism Australia too.
Yep.
So we're getting approached a lot more from companies and tourism boards that want to do that style of event as well. All right, anything else on that subject? Okay, so we had, I think, a really successful, quickly planned, thrown together meetup at the Signature Conference on November 8th. That was really fun. We had a nice turnout. And again, it just generated, more awareness for the organization. definitely a lot of people excited. Reconfirmed a few FAM opportunities that had been in the works or that had been postponed from this year. And it was just a great networking opportunity for everyone that was there. The Phoenix holiday event, I wasn't there. Elizabeth, I can't remember if you were able to go or if you had a conflict. I know, I'm not sure if I know you're in listen only mode, but I haven't gotten the full recap from Marcus yet. I'm waiting on that. But
yeah, they said it was a really super well attended.
okay.
I think they had
Good.
35 or 40, something around that is what I remember him saying in between the chaos of like setting up Prost. And it was really great because a lot of the people that were coming in for Prost, stayed, we're staying overnight the night before and went there. So we had, I think there was like 4, 5 or 6 Montage people that were there on a road show that went to the Millennials event.
Very cool. Yeah. And I saw a few people from LA were in town and went to it. So that's what we're striving for. And that's why we want to get, save the dates on the calendar for the chapter events going forward so that people can plan their travel schedules around and attend those events. And then we have upcoming the Los Angeles holiday event. I already mentioned we've got 81 RSVPs now. We'll miss you, Natalie, but 81 RSVPs so far, which is great. And I don't know, are we doing one more push on that, Natalie, on social media?
Yep, I'm going to do a story actually tomorrow. That's what I've been doing with the pushes. I've been doing stories versus just like having, multiple posts in the feed just because it gets a little redundant doing the same event, but the stories get a lot of engagement and they're being sent around all over. So I'm going to do another push tomorrow. And then if you feel like we need another one like this weekend, if you feel like, we're not at the 100 and you want to get to the 100, I'm happy to do another, but another story is going up tomorrow. I tried to do once a week for Phoenix and LA.
Okay, yeah, and thanks for increasing the frequency of posting on social, because I think, with algorithms and sometimes we're on our social networks and sometimes we're not. So it's good to, post these events like 3 or 4 times. So that's
and it's gotten a lot of, people messaging, asking about things. And I just feel like the engagement, even just since I've been in this role the last 3 months has gone up. So it's nice to see that, there people are sending stories, tapping on the links, etc.
Cool. Yeah, that's great.
And then a question about the LA event. Sorry, really quick, because I know people are probably going to ask me. So for like any active members who go to the holiday party, is there an opportunity for them to like renew their membership while they're there for next year, or should they just be going like online and doing that, or like again for like next year? How would it work?
It's done online no matter what. We can I'll have like the QR code on my phone, and I'll make sure that the other leaders have it too, so that they could scan it right then and there and sign up and renew for the next year. Josh, can you remind me, are they getting like a reminder email when they're No?
We have not. No, we didn't schedule that because we hadn't made a decision yet on the model. Like, do these events actually expire, or do we just, is it 2? And then, so I think we hadn't really made a decision on like is there an expiration on like the 2 events when they sign up? And I don't know if that's because, are we contemplating that because of COVID? Are we contemplating that because we've had like a decrease in the frequency of events? Or we just didn't make that decision?
My first thought is that you pay $25 for an annual membership and it includes 2 events for the year. And if you don't use them, you lose them. But I don't know. Does anyone else have any feedback or thoughts on that?
I think that's fair, because, especially because, sometimes it's, I guess, not guaranteed. We hope that our chapters will do like, a quarterly event, like 4 in the year. But 20.
Is it fair for somebody that lives in Indianapolis who may or may not be able to get to like the 1 or 2 Chicago events a year?
I think this is where we had left it last time, because LA had way more events than like other people.
It's hard to, I think, because most people from an LA perspective, obviously, like it totally makes sense. I think the challenge is when we look, and maybe we need to do some like number crunching, and I can have Nazan work on that as far as like, what does our membership look like as far as within a 50-mile radius of an active chapter? And, you know, we don't want to like upset, you know, people that are, you know, if you're in Indianapolis, like you may drive to Chicago, but like you only have like 4 possible chances, maybe a year. Whereas if you're in like, you know, Long Beach, it's like, oh, well, you could maybe go to San Diego. You could maybe go to LA, which is a lot more frequent. So,
but isn't that like people sign up for membership fully knowing that, like that they live in a city that doesn't have a chapter?
But we need to think about we need to think about branding, and we need to think about retention and just the general conversation around millennials and travel. And I think if we are solely looking at it from like a, you know, a one and done, yes, then we should say like you're done. But like, I don't think that somebody who lives in Indianapolis is necessarily like, they'll sign up and they'll pay and they'll be like, oh, okay. But like, if they don't use either of their events, I don't see them signing up for a second year. And like, what do we want to focus on? Do we want to focus on creating a community, or do we want to focus on like revenue?
Well, no, I mean, our focus has never been on revenue.
Right.
Yeah, obviously.
Obviously, otherwise.
So I think, you know, I think we need to have just like, we need to have a little bit more data, I think. And that's something that I can work with Nazan over like the holiday of figuring out like, what does it look like? And then run some scenarios of like, you know, we could probably figure out some formulas, but like, because we've had also our database for a year and a half, I would say this coming summer, we probably, you know, can really at that point should get rid of those that are in the database that have never responded or opened any email. And although that may decrease our numbers, it is what it is. And I think we need to then create some type of like another like add-on, which we had done in the past of like, you're in our database, you haven't changed jobs. Do you really need to fill out the entire form again? Probably not, but you know, you can sign up and you can add like, you know, 5 event passes or something like that.
Ooh, okay. That's a bigger conversation that we need to have.
Right.
Yeah. It's also hard with the data analysis part, just because like early 2020 was still like the Omicron variant and everything was shutting back down again in January. So like, it's not, you know, it hasn't been normal like for that long.
We haven't had a normal year yet.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, it's just all things to take into consideration, but yes.
Yeah. I mean, and the value add that we're providing outside of events. I mean, if we're like hitting FAMs and doing these crazy FAMs with like, you know, sending, you know, 200 people, you know, abroad or something in the year 2023, which I don't think is that, maybe not 200, maybe like
no, I think we will probably. I think we will. I think we've got,
and that like totally changed. That totally changed. Yeah, that totally changes like the scope of our value in the industry. And I think we just need to be cognizant of our branding, and we don't want to nickel and dime and like ostracize people who haven't had that opportunity and think about it from like an LA perspective.
Yeah.
So can we easily do it in this, like, does our system allow us to just let those membership codes, those 2 passes basically stay, or like they don't?
Yeah, no, it won't does.
Right?
Sorry, I just got a pop up that Kirstie Alley died.
I was like,
okay. Sorry.
Did I just say something?
No, I don't even remember. What did somebody just say?
They don't expire, right? So
they do not expire. It stays there. And that was the other challenge that we had, is that we would have to go in and manually change all of these people.
Like I would have to go into Eventbrite and like delete their like 2 uses or 1 use left for like, and we have to do the full analysis first.
Yeah, I guess it doesn't like, it really doesn't hurt or like devalue the membership to take them away. Like they still, maybe they did 1 event and then they're going to use the other one, like, and then they renew and they buy 2 more. And at some point they have 3 event passes. Like, they're
Yeah.
still paying for their membership and still getting that value, and we're getting that little bit of revenue, whatever it works out to, like 5 cents once all the expenses are applied.
Right.
1 penny. So I guess it doesn't
So
hurt anything.
I think maybe in early 2023 we need to kind of like announce and say, and like what Kate's been doing is like, you know, say somebody signed up and then they only used one, but then they signed up again. Like correct me if I'm wrong, you're adding to that, Kate. Like if they had
I know
one,
we've had
There
some
are people in there who have like 3 uses or even 4 uses because so
and I think that's a lot more manageable on our end, because that is one of the only manual things. But I think we need to present it that way, and I think we need to maybe start looking at having some, you know, promotions or something like that, as to where like, hey, for the you know, if for the month of, or on Travel Agent Awareness Day or something like that, you know, we can say, hey, if you're a travel agent, you know, you buy 2 passes and get you get 1 free or something like that. Or like we can start to be strategic in really trying to encourage people to purchase these event passes.
Yeah, I mean, we even had the idea of like, it's too late now, but like putting it out there to like buy an MIT membership as a, you know, a holiday gift for, you know, for suppliers to buy that for advisors, or, you know, as a gift. So that's something we can revisit for 2023. But I still think people don't know when their membership expires unless we tell them. Like if you have a magazine subscription or any sort of membership, like you get notified when it's going to expire. So even if they have like pending event passes, 1 or 2, I still think, is there a way to set it up in our system to send an automatic renew your membership on the anniversary of when their membership expires?
Yes,
Okay.
there is.
I still think we should do that, and then we can include in that, don't worry if you haven't used your past event, you know, passes, they're good. They rolled over.
So what are we asking them to do then?
we're just reminding them they have it, like, and letting them, because like I do get questions, be like, how do I sign up? What's my code? How many do I have left? It's not that.
Are we opening up Pandora's box of saying, oh gosh, I don't know that I didn't even remember that I paid for this. You know what? I haven't had any opportunities to attend events. You know, can you go ahead and refund me? Like, are we opening up Pandora's box of reminding people that they haven't had the opportunity to go to an event?
But we offer, like Monty was saying before, like they can sign up for FAMs, they can apply for jobs. We have like the professional development, and we have like the benefits. Like it's not just events. Like,
agreed.
You know, like if I got
I'm
to
just
go to
playing devil's.
If I got to go to Switzerland, but
advocate.
I live in Indianapolis, I wouldn't be sad about not going to a Chicago event. I got to go on a FAM to Switzerland.
No, of course not. No, of course not. But that's, you know, that's one person, and I think we need some numbers. I think, and that'll allow us to make better decisions as far as the membership and like who are members, how many of them have used their. And Kate, I'm not putting this on you because I can have Nazon do it, but how many people have used their membership, or how many are outstanding, or, you know, I can play around with that and kind of come up with some statistics.
Yeah.
Okay, so we haven't made any decisions then on what.
No, let's move on.
Okay.
So other than
membership
Star, is everything lined up for like gifts and stuff for like all of these like December events?
The last time I checked, I was gonna ask Nick this week, because I want to use some of those. I think we have like 1 or 2 coupons left for 1-800-Flowers. So I was gonna ask Nick what the official address he wants me to send it to, because I think it is Diego, but I just wanted to check with him on that. And then which one?
Because as it gets closer to the holiday, like if we know it early enough, like it can be like planned like a month, you know, even before like the event goes out, the invitation goes out, like we can plan it, and then it just like saves us, especially around holidays or anything like that. Okay,
for sure.
And then the other one would be the Phoenix event, Star, that just happened. I think almost done.
That one was done.
Actually, it was hosted by Marcus at his hotel, so I don't know that we even need to send one. I think they did waive it for that one.
That's I think you did send me an email about that, because I was like, I
Yeah.
don't remember seeing it for Phoenix, but then I was like, it would be weird
Yeah.
if I
No, I think that's why. And then the Charleston event, December 16th, is a philanthropy event, so there's no gift to send.
Got it.
Natalie, are we going to do another push for the Charleston event?
Yes, that will go next after LA.
Okay. I think all that I have for now on events. And I'm, hopefully find an events manager soon. There's just like more and more conferences and things happening next year. We want to make sure that we're present in all of those. So to be continued, but hopefully we'll be unveiling a very robust events calendar soon. Transitioning to FAMs, Kim and Abby are both traveling right now, but we had a meeting last, very productive meeting. We reviewed basically all the FAMs we have in the works for 2023, and we plan to have basically like a kind of a bullet point, month and destination schedule for 2023 before the end of this month. So before we enter 2023, we'll have kind of a tentative FAM calendar. And there's a lot going on, and it'll be exciting. So first up will be Bahamas with Bennett Mercado in January, followed by, I think we've got the
Have we sent that out yet?
No, it's going out this week. Yeah, it's going to go out this week when I have time, and Kim's working on it. I haven't had a chance to do a full summary or roundup of the FAMs. There's just a lot in the works though, but I will keep you guys posted and have that done this month. And then just on any of the FAMs that we just wrapped up, the Switzerland FAM, which we kind of was a hybrid, like we sent some participants. Josh, I don't know if you've spoken with Caroline, or I think she's in Turkey right now or somewhere, but or Portugal. She's in Portugal, but they have content that to share for the Travel Responsible landing page, and she's working on a blog as well. And I sent you, I think, the Peru blog. I'm not sure if that's been added to the website yet. Okay.
No.
Okay.
I can. You will do it next week.
And then we have one in the works for New Zealand as well. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Star, for the memos of understanding, do we have all of those? Are we missing any? Do you think you could perhaps send me a list? Because I'll have the chapter meeting on next Monday, and I can just go over, who's missing, and I kind of just want to start clean slate with, the officers for next year, and make sure we have all those in order.
Yeah, sure. Because I know there's been a lot of transitions, but from a quick glance, it's probably, I'd say we'd have a little over half. It's funny because I think the ones that we're really missing are the people who've been around for a while.
Yeah, they've been in the roles before we even implemented this procedure, which is fine.
Is it effective?
Is it? I don't know. I mean, I think it is. I think they review it and they're like, okay, and it more, if not for anything other reason, it kind of legitimizes and makes the position a little more of a formalized thing. So yeah, I think it's effective. I mean, you still have some cases where people are like, oh shoot, I realized I can't because of this reason or that, but it's usually valid reasons. Okay.
Wait,
membership. I know I didn't send the agenda over in advance.
Star.
Sorry. Just one more question. No, you're good. And then Josh, I think I had replied in Asana about that out of office calendar. I know really quickly I mentioned GoDaddy, but I don't know if that's an option because I don't know if we pay for it. At this point, I feel the easiest move is just to create a new another Google account and just send that out with a login to everyone and just be here's the calendar for whenever you need to put your stuff in, guys.
I have an idea that I will explore, whereby people can submit a form and it will automatically go to the calendar.
Fancy.
Yeah. So let me explore that over the holidays as well.
Oh.
And are we doing this for who's the audience again?
Initially, it was going to be for directors and managers, but if it's something that's automated like that, then, you know, we could even extend it to officers if we wanted to, but.
Okay. Yeah.
Whatever you guys think.
Okay, let me explore all that.
Okay. Okay, so I don't know if you have like the membership numbers. If not, you can always add them into this later, but
yeah,
otherwise...
I've got them.
cool.
Also really quick, Amanda told me she couldn't make it because she's in Fiji. I did not get an update from her, but we had a good meeting last month. I think there's a pretty good list of jobs and she's kind of keeping up with it, but I'm going to schedule our December meeting. Unfortunately, I don't have anything more from her right now. But yes, for the numbers, we've got 3,233 total on the database, which actually I think went down a little bit because they did a really big like deduping and unsubscribe from the general like newsletter thing. There were quite a few, and I know Monica, you've been seeing me emailing all the chapter heads like fun. So still waiting to hear back from quite a few of them, but I know they're diving deep into that.
That's fine. It's better to have a clean database, right?
Yeah.
So it was 3203, you said, right?
3233.
30.
And if you want me to, Monty, I can email it to you. Okay. So there were 14 paid members this month, and then an additional 16 who added membership onto an event registration, which I think is the most that we've had in a long time, but it makes sense. We've been having a lot of events. Yeah. So, and then for the locations, this is also the skews real heavily. So 19 people in and around LA, 1 in Las Vegas, 5 in Phoenix, 1 in Salt Lake City, 1 in Detroit, 1 in Charleston, 1 in DC, and 1 in Boston.
You'll have to email.
Yeah, I'll send it to you.
Okay.
So yeah, a ton of LA.
I think that obviously I think this is an indication of like people are paying for access to events, and that's our like bread and butter. So I think that's why, you know, as much as we try to develop career development things or whatnot, I mean, the revenue is clearly coming from events, whether it's like ad hoc events or the membership because of events.
But this is also the first month that I've seen where it's skewed so heavily that way. And there's a lot of events recently compared to, or like, I just feel like, you know, I've been seeing tons of events.
Yeah.
So it's just like the month, you know, with holidays and the charity things and like, so, I mean, yes, you're right. Like a ton of people added membership after like signing up for an event, but I don't know if that's like the historic year, like year over year data, like consistently.
Just jumping back to what we talked about earlier, you know, in July of 2023, we'll have had this new CRM for 2 years. Is it at that point, is that when we should remove people that have never communicated, or like they've never opened up an email, they've never like done anything, there's been no engagement, like remove them at year 2, and then maybe everybody else who, like, again, you know, we have their basic information, send another email like, this is your last chance, because we said we were going to do it a year ago almost, like your name was going to be taken off in January of 2022, and then we didn't end up doing it, which is fine. I mean, because if we end up with where we remove people who have never opened up our emails, our like open rate, I mean, it could easily be like 80-85%, and our click-through would probably be like in the 50% range, which I think is like amazing. And you know, we could use those numbers then obviously for sponsorship things.
Yeah, that's true.
Natalie, do you have any thoughts on that? Like, what do you think? Natalie or Elizabeth, love to hear from you if you have.
No, I'm sitting here thinking.
Yeah. Sorry, I didn't mean to put you on the spot, but
No,
I
it's
think
okay.
it's a good time for like,
Zoho too.
Yeah, like with a smaller number of us on the call, like it's like a good like brainstorming opportunity.
Yeah.
I mean, I believed that it was always like engagement versus like, it's like your engagement on social media versus like your followers, or your followers versus like engagement. And I think
right on social, right? If you, yeah, like that analogy.
yeah,
Mhm.
I mean, do we want to say that we have like, you know, like we could very well go down to like 1,200, you know, which would be like a big shock. But if we have 1,200 and our open rate is 80%, our click through is 50%, and we have very, you know, highly engaged audience, is that better than saying that we have 3,000 members?
Yeah.
Or
Yeah,
people?
I think that's the goal, is to engage as many members as possible, right? At the end of the day.
Yeah. And
Well,
Elizabeth,
we can,
some comments in the chat, kind of agreeing with you, Josh, that engagement is better than
Well,
the numbers.
I'll run some numbers and see what are those numbers, and then we can kind of see if what works.
I mean, I think it just goes back to what we've, you know, always said about anything we do with millennials in travel is like quality is better than quantity. So it's just, you know, it's a kind of a overarching theme for what we do, and like less is more. Like I'm thinking, you know, of some ways to like scale back some of the initiatives that we've focused on, like professional development that maybe aren't getting as much traction, and like focusing more on events and doing more on that front, because that's what people really want. So, and we know that already from survey results and from conversations and from the engagement that we see. So, you know,
I mean, even if we just say like, you know, those that have not opened up an email or any communication from us within the last 12 months, like we take them off, like, and maybe we start, you know, maybe we just start to whittle down a little bit.
Yeah, but let's run that report first and share it with us, because there might be people we know on there and we're like, oh, they're an idiot, they just didn't update their email. Which
there's
a lot of those. There's a lot of those.
Okay. Remember, this is a public video, so.
I'm not saying anyone in particular. I'm saying like people all the time are telling me like, I'm not getting your emails. I'm like, that's because it's your email from 2 jobs ago. It's not, you know, it's just they just forgot. So.
And I will follow up, because that was one thing that they were working on from Zoho, and they, you know, now the profile picture automatically updates to like their, you know, icon. So there has been development. So maybe that's also something to look with Zoho, because they were looking at, it was available to have like a member platform where people can go in and update their own information, but it was restricted as far as the text that we could send, and we had to individually do that for every single one, which I can have Nazan do. So again, now that we have somebody in an admin role, there's no reason that, you know, he takes 200 people a day and he goes through and he sends them the email saying, hey, here's the link that allows you to go into your profile, see what we have on file for you, and make any changes. As long as we can change the text in that email, because before it was we couldn't even change the email address. It came from admin@zoho.com, and we're like, nobody's going to open up that email. And we couldn't even change the subject line. So if those enhancements, improvements have been made, I say that that's the strategy that we do before we even look at like, you know, decreasing the database numbers.
Yeah.
And I can have him, I mean, I can also have him go in and like, you know, there's a Facebook, maybe he sends them a message through Facebook of saying, hey, notice you haven't, you know, we don't have you're not opening up your emails. Like, do we have the right email? Like, we need to start thinking, now that we have an admin person, like, what are things that will help us achieve our goal?
Okay. Anything else on membership? Kate, when you get a moment, will you just drop in those? I just put a note on the agenda that you'll add in the other cities.
Oh yeah, I just in the meeting agenda. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, you'll see it on the page 4.
All good.
Okay. Exclusive benefits. Kristen couldn't be with us tonight, and actually I think that unfortunately she just told me today that she thinks she will have to resign from the role, even though she just started it. Unfortunately, she realized that she overcommitted herself. And so I'm going to chat with her this week and then decide what to do. Again, I think that is an area where it has a lot of potential and opportunity to attract members if we continue to build it up. And I think, you know, we started to kind of get on a roll, and then we wanted to have like, you know, more kind of quality benefits or value adds or something that would, you know, that our members would really like. But there's some in there that I think are great, like the picks around like the travel photographer. I mean, I tell travel advisors that I meet with, you know, when I'm having sales calls for Aqua about that, because I tell them, like, if you're a member, you can use that discount and, you know, purchase that for your clients and give your clients a discount and still get commission. And so I think, you know, if we can find more opportunities like that, I think I just
can
think
we
that
have
that's
a benefit? Can we do like a benefits?
Grow.
Can we do like a benefits drive where we like make it an initiative for a month, where maybe we, like, even in the newsletter and communication, we kind of push of like, and maybe it's like early 2023 that we do it of like, hey, new year, like, do you have something that you want to offer that, like, make it fun and exciting? Do you have something that you want to offer the membership? Like, you know, reach out, and like, if we do a little bit of a strategy behind it, maybe we'll get a little bit more results.
Yeah, I think that could be good. But who are we sending that message out to?
Suppliers.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know. Let's think, you know, outside the box, and maybe we, you know, we had talked about, Natalie, like doing Facebook ads. Maybe there's, you know, maybe we throw a little bit of money at like doing a Facebook ad to acquire, you know, interest in people providing an exclusive benefit. I don't know what that looks like, but, or how we would even target it from a geo or like psycho or, you know, whatever perspective, but I don't know, maybe.
I don't know if Natalie heard you, because she just sent a message that she's reconnecting on her phone.
Oh, okay. Okay,
Yeah.
well,
Oh wait,
we
we just lost her. So maybe she did hear that and she's gonna come back with an answer.
yes.
no,
But I do think we need
that
to
could
put a
be
little bit
good.
more focus and like, hey, chapter, like if every chapter can come up with like one, you know, like that'd be nine new benefits, you know?
Yeah. Okay.
I'm not putting it on the chapters, but I'm just saying, like,
Yeah.
you know, let's put some effort and energy behind trying to acquire these from a group, not just like one person who, you know, there's people in and out of that role every, like, you know, 2 or 3 days or months or whatever.
Oh, sorry. She's in the waiting room. Okay. She's joining now. Why don't you ask her that question while I type a couple notes here? Hey, Natalie.
Hi, sorry, I cut off right when I heard everything you said, Josh. Sorry, my computer's dying and I had switched my phone. But yes, I heard everything you were saying. Yeah, I'm happy we can always sidebar and talk more on that.
Okay, let's do that. Cool.
And have chapters with one each.
I mean, I don't want to put it on the chapters as well, but I think if people know that we're proactively looking for this, then maybe, you know, and if we, yeah.
No, I think it's okay to like ask them, because we're always wanting to like integrate their thoughts and their opinion and like, you know, everything that they're doing.
I mean, we do ask that, but in the newsletter, but then it's the very last section, and I don't even think people get that far. To that section.
Yeah. Okay. 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 Let's see, moving on to professional development. Kate, you said you didn't have an update, but Amanda has been updating. I think she's been updating the job board. So as long as that's happening.
Yeah, she's been keeping on it.
Okay. I think I sent her a job though, and I don't know that it was on there. So I'll follow up with her because I'm hiring 2 people for Aqua. And I don't know that but actually, admittedly, I haven't looked, but I will check.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, we only talked in November, so I haven't spoken to her. I haven't had my update with her since then.
Okay. Okay. Over to digital content. Josh did an amazing job on the newsletter. Thank you, Josh. What's our plan? What's our next plan? Do we want to I mean, I'm assuming we're not doing one for December now. Are we just doing do we want to do like a holiday greeting or Happy New Year greeting and then do a newsletter in January? Do we want to change like the cadence of when they're going out? What are you guys thinking? Anyone have any thoughts or feedback?
I think if we have somebody in that role, that I think we can go back to our regular frequency. Second week of January, trying to get something out.
Okay. Well, I think Kelly will be great at it, and with Natalie's endorsement, that makes me feel even better about it. She was signed on to also do the Nashville chapter, but I think like that's the communications role, which is minimal, and she expressed interest in doing both. And since the Nashville chapter hasn't even officially launched yet, and it sounds like she has some time, I think it works well.
I mean, it's really not that, it's not that difficult.
No,
it takes.
You're talking newsletters, right? I'm sorry.
Newsletter.
Yeah, I know at her previous job too. Well, prior to us working together, she was doing newsletters at her other agency, so she has experience with that.
Okay.
I mean, it's like
I'll connect with her
takes
this week.
if all the information is there, it's like less than 3 hours of work.
Yeah.
Should we send out like a end of the year message though, or just
no?
I think first of the year is fine. People, honestly, if just from a personal experience, I am like cleaning out my inbox at the end of the year, and like I feel like first of the year, here we go, kick off 2023. Yeah, between all the holiday emails, this, that, and the other, and I fear it might get lost. That's just my thoughts.
I would not even open up the.
We didn't run another Black Friday.
What'd you say, Josh? You wouldn't open what?
I wouldn't even open up our own email, knowing what it like. I wouldn't do it.
Love that.
So funny.
It's great.
Yeah, I know. Like on Black Friday, you're reminded of every store you've ever shopped at in your entire life. Okay.
Totally.
So next one will be slated for early January. I'll speak with Kelly this week, and Josh, I may just need you to help with maybe some of like her onboarding, but I think just with like training and stuff. But I think I can do it, but I might need your help.
She's in Nashville.
A little overextended right now.
As of I'm in today. I drove from Chicago now I'm in Cincinnati. As of Monday, I will be back in South Africa for 6 months, maybe.
Okay.
So just time zone wise, like Nashville's totally fine. That's 7 hours, maybe 8. I don't know if they're in, but yeah. So just cognizant of that.
You'll have more time to do stuff as long as the internet's working. Got it.
As long as there's electricity, correct?
Yeah, no, right. Yeah. Will you double check and make sure that the Peru blog is posted? Can you do that?
It's not.
I know.
It's not.
Okay, so sorry. Let me rephrase that. Can you post the Peru blog?
When I have Wi-Fi. I'm in a vacant unit right now that has no Wi-Fi.
Okay.
Right on top of that, Mon.
Thank you. So maybe like by December, like a week, like
30th.
2 weeks from now.
Just kidding.
December 12th. I'll give you
sure.
until December 19th, and then you're fired.
Okay. Oh, yes. Please fire me.
You're not getting out of this, buddy. Oh my God. Oh, okay.
Okay, let's wrap this
social
up.
media, Natalie. Any updates or stats you want to share with us?
Yeah, I can be very quick. Also, sorry, I only have view only mode, but I did request access, but I'm happy to just talk through a few. We had a good month on the story side last month. I think I'm seeing a lot, and this is the case with, a lot of brands, that stories are just naturally viewed more than the static posts. We had over 8,000 impressions in total. We had 40 Instagram stories that we shared, and that reached over 4,000 impressions. I think one that stood out the most was the reshares we were doing for the Switzerland fam. There were a ton. It was that one, I think it was Savor Travels. She was posting everything, and I was resharing her stuff. And out of our 2,581 followers, 1,500 were reached. So that's huge to have,
Wow.
half your followers reached with a story. So I thought that stat was really impressive.
Natalie, can you if you're, as you're going through and seeing all of these stats, if there are certain either posts or like crazy like numbers, just like keep a list or something, because when we start to put together like a media kit or a sales kit or something like that, we can like pull that and then like, you know, obviously with like the PR spin of like, you know, 87%, or like you can just manipulate the numbers to make it make it look amazing.
Yeah, no, definitely. And I think it just goes to show that those you know, the takeovers and the recaps, and while we haven't had you know, any since then from the beginning of November, that was just a perfect example of how engaging they are. And, you know, the more people are viewing our stories, the algorithm has proven to show, the more we will appear in people's first, you know, like second slides of in their stories. So I think that was some great stats for last month to share.
That's really exciting. Thank you.
Are we going to apply for Elizabeth?
Oh no, Elizabeth, I'm sorry. I'll let her speak first.
Are we applying for the blue check mark for Twitter?
For Twitter or Instagram? Listen, we can have Twitter. We can have a conversation about Instagram, but I don't know.
Twitter seems to be a loose cannon right now. I don't know. If we're
going
to do anything other than Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram, it should be TikTok.
Yeah. And Monica, we can talk about this when I meet with you on, if I get to meet with you at the end of this month, but I have been pulling back just from posting on Twitter, as, you know, I know we've talked about in the past that we like that channel for sharing news, but it's just, we're not getting any engagement, whether I hashtag, whether, you know, all the things. So we can have a bigger conversation about that. But just so you know, I've been scaling back from posting on Twitter as we get the most engagement on Facebook, LinkedIn.
Yeah, I'm happy that like there's the demise, because it puts less pressure on us to be participatory on that platform.
Totally.
And we've never been active on that platform.
It's a tricky one. It's
now I think we have an excuse of like, we just don't want to support or blah blah blah. What were you talking about Instagram though? Like, is there we apply to get a blue mark for Instagram?
Yeah, if we want to be verified, it's a whole beast. It's a whole other beast. It's not as easy as it used to be, where you just simply submit a form proving, you know, that you're whatever organization, this, that, and the other. Now they want like articles of incorporation, all the things. But Monica, we can talk about that too.
Yeah, I'm happy to. We have all those. We have millennials and travel. We have trademark license. I mean, it's up for not renewal, but like between these years 5 and 6, 9 and 10, and 11 or 19 and 20, you have to do other forms, but like, no,
I'm happy to start that process then. You know, it definitely, it takes a bit, you know, we've run into this battle.
Yeah, I'll look into it too, but I mean, like we have all that shit.
Yeah. And you just do it right through the app. So I'm happy to start that process. I can connect with you, Josh, and get any documents to try. You can submit once every 30 days. So I'm happy to look at that and look at everything and try for a first submission, but that would be great. I mean, as you all know, the blue check mark is just, you know, even better to have a verified account. So, and it does not mean, it has nothing to do necessarily with amount of followers. It's more of just like, are you a legitimate organization? Are you who you are saying that you are? So,
yeah, then there's no reason we shouldn't.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. Okay.
And then for the media relations side, no, I do not have anything to share there. I assume, you know, as new chapters launch, we'll want to get releases out for that. So we can always, you know, talk about that as it comes up, unless you have anything for me.
Caroline did mention that somehow we can't collectively we can't find the press release for responsible travel.
I sent Monica, that was among many things we will be discussing when I meet with you. I sent you a few notes on that, but for whatever reason, I don't know what happened, if it was like the turnover with, I don't know if links got lost. I can't imagine they did, because Caitlin handed over everything, but we're missing, like when I go back to click through the Google Drive of like where those releases live.
I know.
It just is non-existent.
I did a heavy search too, and like I even went to like, because there's like a deleted folder.
Yeah.
Like I have no idea, but it was never extracted. Is that correct? Like
No,
nobody
which is
nobody ever
no,
downloaded it, or
which is a learning lesson, and that's probably, you know, that's something I can do moving forward, that like, you know, don't always trust the drive, make sure I'm, you know, saving every release, because we have like I have the Gen Z one because I extracted that at one point, and then also I have the Phoenix the relaunch, I have that one, so really the only one we're missing is the sustainability one.
And we wouldn't have uploaded it to Asana at any time, right?
No,
have we checked
it was
Caitlin's email, Josh?
what?
Have you checked Caitlin's email box?
No, but I can.
I don't know that it would be there, Monica, in all honesty, just because when I was sending them back and forth, it was through the Google Drive, but we hit a halt there because, you know, the pages were getting redone and this, that, and the other. But I told Caroline I'm happy to work on another one. Well, I don't know that I'll be able to get to that this year, if I'm being completely honest, but I'm happy to set up a time.
We're not, I mean, at this point, we're not launching it this year, so don't worry about that.
Excellent. Then yes, but I'm happy. I mean, I can put together another one, but it was very odd that things just we're not clicking back anymore. I was like down a rabbit hole one night. I think I was sending emails at like midnight. I was like sweating. I'm like, where is everything?
Yeah. And I did a heavy search.
Where are the releases?
So weird.
Wait, are we missing an entire folder?
There are like certain things that I just swear used to be there at one point with like all past releases, like pre me coming on, that I can't find. I don't know. It's very weird.
I need to evaluate like who has access to everything. I mean, I think it's just us and Star, right? So I don't think
for Google,
for the Gmail. Yeah.
If it's pre you coming on board, I would still have that in my Dropbox, because when we migrated from Dropbox over to Google.
Oh, that's right.
Monica just moved stuff around, and I still.
Yeah, there were like old releases I was going back to reference, like when I first came on, just to give me like an idea of like the format we were using and whatnot.
Sure.
I couldn't find it.
I have old ones.
Okay. So maybe that's, you know, another conversation for us of the year. We try and
for sure. Yeah.
Anyways,
okay, or we can write that, and then I'll make sure any news has send it to Natalie. And Josh, Natalie and I are going to meet when I'm in LA later this month, and I don't think the timing will align. It'll probably be like the middle of the night for you, but it would be good to have like a strategy session, but maybe after Natalie and I meet and kind of clean house and go over procedures and like kind of set the stage next year, then we can have a strategy sesh.
Well, do you guys, I mean, I could do it at like 10 p.m.
Whose time?
Yeah.
Well, I don't think Monica's coming to Hermosa at 10, but.
Well, I am not doing it to have a meeting with Josh. Josh knows very well what I'm going to do when I'm in Hermosa. We used to live there together, so.
I can, well, ideally, I would do before PM.
We can talk.
Yeah.
PM.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll sort it out because, I think we need to like have meetings, clean house, set like a foundation, and then like strategy sessions. So
yeah.
We'll keep going. Okay, thanks, Natalie. And then Josh, over to you for any updates on development, philanthropy, sustainability, technology, anything like that?
No.
Nothing. Okay.
No, I mean, I've got nothing.
Okay. I think I'm being, hopefully cautiously optimistic that like things are going to get into a little bit more of like a regular like cadence next year. I think there was like this major scramble at the end of the year, and at least for me and a lot of the other like suppliers and other advisors that I'm out talking to, is that it's just like crazy, and hopefully things will kind of 2023 will hopefully be that like balancing and like equalizing year after the pandemic. We'll see. But with that, I'll go ahead and end the meeting. And actually, Josh, if you'll stay on for a couple minutes, I want to ask you a couple questions. But thank you all so much. And I'm sure we'll talk, but otherwise, happy holidays.
Happy holidays,
Happy
guys.
holidays.
Thanks, everyone.
Hey.
Bye.